That's Not Hot, The Mask Behind the Million Smiles. Chapter 1. Neon Dreams and Midnight Shadows. In the pulsing heart of early 2000s Los Angeles, where palm trees swayed like drunk dancers under the glow of 1,000 billboards, Lila Voss was born to be a star, or so the tabloids screamed. At just 17, she was the girl with the platinum hair that caught the light like shattered diamonds, the one whose laugh tinkled like champagne flutes clinking at an endless party. "That's hot," she'd purr into the cameras, her baby blue eyes wide with feigned innocence as paparazzi swarmed her like moths to a flame. But behind the velvet ropes of VIP lounges and the flash of red carpets, Lila's world was a carefully constructed illusion, a mask forged in the fires of a nightmare she dared not whisper about. It started in Miami that sultry summer of 1999. Lila, diagnosed with ADHD at 12, had always been a whirlwind, too bright, too restless, too much for her polished parents, who ran a chain of luxury hotels that whispered old money and ironclad expectations. Her father, Harlan Voss, a stern tycoon with a jaw like chiseled granite, believed in discipline above all. Her mother, Elena, floated through life in designer gowns, her smile as perfect and plastic as a mannequin's. "We come from nothing, Lila," Harlan would bark during family dinners in their oceanfront mansion. "My grandfather scrubbed floors during the Depression. You think life's a party? Earn it." But Lila craved the chaos. Sneaking out to South Beach clubs, she'd lose herself in the thumping bass, the sweat-slicked bodies, the freedom that tasted like salt air and rebellion. One night, under the strobe lights of Club Eclipse, she met Rick, a charming bad boy with a camera and promises of forever. He filmed everything, including moments she thought were private. When that tape leaked months later, splashed across every gossip rag and fledgling internet site, Lila's world exploded. "Electronic rape," she called it in her diary, the words scribbled in tear-stained ink. But to the world, she played it cool. "That's hot," she said on late-night TV, flipping her hair with a wink that hid the bile rising in her throat. The fame came fast and furious. Reality TV producers sniffed opportunity like sharks to blood. The simple life city girl goes country paired her with her wild child bestie, Mia, sending them to Midwest farms where they milked cows in stilettos and flipped burgers in miniskirts. Ratings soared. "That's hot" became a cultural mantra, emblazoned on t-shirts, echoed in high school hallways. Fragrances followed. Lila's signature scent, Sparkle, flew off shelves. DJ gigs in Vegas, fashion lines in New York. By 25, she was a blueprint for influencers, a self-made millionaire who vowed never to touch the family fortune. "I'm building my empire," she'd declare in interviews, her voice high and bubbly, like cotton candy melting on the tongue. But at night, alone in her sprawling Hollywood Hills mansion, the mask cracked. Insomnia clawed at her like an old enemy. She'd pace the marble floors, heart racing, flashbacks hitting like thunderclaps. The root? A secret buried deep from her 16th year, a year of behavior modification programs that promised to fix her but nearly shattered her soul. Chapter 2. The Gooning. It was 3:17 a.m. on a muggy August night in Miami. Lila had just slipped back into her bedroom after a forbidden club run, her sequin dress rumpled, mascara smudged. She collapsed onto her four-poster bed, the ocean waves crashing outside like a lullaby. Then the door burst open. Two burly men in black, strangers, loomed over her. "Lila Voss, you're coming with us." Panic surged. She screamed, kicked, but they were pros. Gooners, hired kidnappers for wayward teens. Zip ties bit into her wrists, a gag muffled her cries. Her parents stood in the hallway, faces etched with grim resolve. "It's for your own good, honey," tears glistening. Harlan nodded stoically. "You'll thank us someday." The van sped through the darkness, crossing state lines to a wilderness camp in the Georgia backwoods. "Welcome to Renewal Ranch," the sign read, but it felt like hell's antechamber. Strip-shirched upon arrival, cold hands probing, dignity stripped away, Lila was thrust into a regimen of forced hikes, group therapy sessions where counselors screamed inches from her face, "You're a spoiled brat, break her spirit." Solitary confinement in a dirt-floored tent for non-compliance, no calls home, no rights explained, her ADHD meds confiscated. "You don't need pills, you need discipline," they snarled. After 3 months, they shipped her west to Summit Academy in Utah, a lockdown facility masquerading as a school. Towering mountains encircled it like prison walls. Here, the abuse deepened. Midnight medical exams that crossed into violation, restraint chairs for hours on end, verbal barrages that echoed in her nightmares. Worthless, slut, no one will believe you. Leela learned to dissociate, to float above the pain. She crafted a persona, the ditzy girl with the baby voice, to appease them. Yes, sir, she'd coo, eyes downcast, while inside fury simmered. 11 months. That's how long she endured before graduating. Released at 17, she hugged her parents at the airport, but trust was a ghost. Why? She asked Harlan once, voice breaking. We thought it would help, he muttered, avoiding her gaze. Back home, the parties resumed, but now they were armor. The bubbly facade, a shield against the vulnerability that Summit had weaponized. Years blurred. The sex tape scandal hit like a tsunami, but Leela spun it into gold. Reality star survives betrayal, headlines blared. She built her brand brick by brick, perfumes grossing millions, club residencies packing arenas. Friends envied her, fans idolized her. But intimacy, a minefield. Boyfriends came and went, scared off by her night terrors, her inability to let walls down. I love the spotlight, she'd laugh in therapy, secret sessions with a discreet Beverly Hills shrink, but it burns. Chapter 3. Cracks in the Facade. By 35, Leela's empire was unbreakable. Her fragrance line hit $1 billion in sales. Her DJ sets commanded 6 figures. She jetted from Ibiza to Tokyo, pink Bentley gleaming in every city. Queen of the Night, Vogue dubbed her. But the insomnia worsened, nights staring at the ceiling, Summit screams replaying like a broken record. Pills didn't help, therapy scratched the surface. You're performing perfection, her therapist, Dr. Reyes, said gently. America loves the fairy tale, but what's the cost? The turning point came in 2018 via an email from an unknown sender. Summit Survivor Reunion, you're not alone. Heart-pounding, Leela clicked. A private forum filled with stories mirroring hers. Goonings, abuses, lifelong scars. Names she recognized. Sarah, the quiet girl from her dorm. Jake, the boy who'd smuggled her notes. PTSD, trust issues, broken families, one post read. These schools are torture factories. Time to fight back. Leela hesitated. Exposing this meant dismantling her mask, the one that protected her, made her rich. But the pull was magnetic. She flew to Salt Lake City under an alias, her heart in her throat. The reunion was in a nondescript hotel conference room. 20 survivors, faces aged by trauma. Sarah hugged her first. You made it big, she whispered, but I see the pain in your eyes. Stories poured out like floodwaters. Jake spoke of suicide attempts, another woman of chronic anxiety that ended her marriage. Leela listened, tears silent. Then her turn. I built a life on pretending, she confessed, voice cracking for the first time in years. The baby voice, it's from Summit. They rewarded submission. The parties, distractions from the nightmares. Gasps rippled. I thought I was fixed, but they broke me. That night in her hotel room, Leela wept, raw, ugly sobs that shook her core. For the first time, vulnerability didn't feel like weakness, it felt like power. Back in Los Angeles, the facade began to fray. Leela canceled a Vegas gig, citing exhaustion. Tabloids speculated, party girl cracks? But she was plotting. With survivors' help, she gathered evidence, affidavits, leaked documents exposing Summits, now rebranded as Horizon Heights, ongoing abuses. A $23 billion industry, one lawyer friend revealed. No federal oversight. Kids are cash cows. Leela's first step, therapy intensified. Dr. Reyes guided her through EMDR sessions, reliving the gooning, the strip searches. Feel it, then let it go, he'd say. Emotions surged, anger at her parents, grief for lost youth, fear of exposure. One session she screamed into a pillow, "That's not hot, it's hell." Family confrontation came next. Dinner at the Miami mansion, tension thick as fog. Why Summit? Leela demanded, voice steady. Harlan shifted uncomfortably. We were scared. You were out of control. Elena sobbed. The counselors promised miracles. Leela laid out the truth. Abuses, scars. You sent me to monsters. Silence stretched. Then Harlan's facade cracked too. We failed you. Hugs followed, tentative bridges rebuilt. Emboldened, Leela went public, a documentary deal with a streaming giant, Behind the Smile. Cameras followed her to reunions, therapy, even a covert visit near Horizon Heights. Flashbacks intercut with red carpet glamour, montages of laughing on TV contrasted with solitary sobs. "I created a character to survive," she narrated, ditching the baby voice for her real one, deep, resolute. "But now I'm reclaiming me." The doc dropped in 2020 amid a pandemic that forced introspection. Views skyrocketed. Hashtags trended. Break the mask, survivor strong. Celebrities shared support. Politicians took notice. Leela testified before Congress, voice unwavering. "These programs kidnap kids, abuse them under therapy, regulate them, or shut them down." Applause echoed. Bills drafted. Chapter 5. Rebirth in the Spotlight.